human beings. It weighs about 1350 grams. It is divided into three parts, that is forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain. Forebrain is also called prosencephalon. Midbrain is also called mesencephalon. Hindbrain is also called rhombencephalon. So among these three parts, first of all, I will talk about forebrain. So the forebrain, outermost part, the forebrain consists of three parts, that is cerebrum. First part is cerebrum, second one is thalamus, and third one is hypothalamus. So first of all, let us see cerebrum. It is the largest part of the human brain. Comparatively among all the animals, human brain, that is cerebrum, is the largest part. Cerebrum is the largest part in man, and proportionally it is the largest part among all the animals. Okay, that is part is cerebrum. It is the largest part. Comparatively among all the animals, cerebrum is the largest part in human beings. So the cerebrum consists of two parts, two equal halves, two equal partitions. See, actually, if we will see dorsal view, it is visible like this. Like this. So the cerebrum, it consists of two equal halves. That is, one is the right half, another one is left half, right half and left half. See here, this is called right cerebral hemisphere. Right half is called right cerebral hemisphere. Right cerebral hemisphere. Right cerebral hemisphere. In the same way, this is called left cerebral hemisphere. Left cerebral hemisphere. Right cerebral hemisphere and left cerebral hemisphere. See here. Left cerebral hemisphere. So the right and the left cerebral hemisphere both are connected together with the help of bundles of nerve fibers. Bundles of nerve fibers helps in connecting right and left hemisphere. So this is called corpus callosum. The left and right cerebral hemispheres are held together by bundles of nerve fibers called corpus callosum. Corpus callosum. This is the part. So the left one is connected to the right one is connected to left one with the help of bundles of nerve fibers. So these bundles of nerve fibers are collectively called corpus callosum. Next one is each cerebral hemisphere. See, this is right cerebral hemisphere. Each cerebral hemisphere is divided into 4 lobes. Each divided into 4 lobes. Each cerebral hemisphere is divided into 4 lobes with the help of frontal bone, parietal bone, temporal bone and occipital bone. occipital bone. This is each cerebral hemisphere, the left cerebral hemisphere and right cerebral hemispheres. Each cerebral hemisphere is divided into 4 lobes by frontal bone, parietal bone, temporal bone, and occipital bones with the help of deep fissures. With the help of deep fissures. Deep fissures. Fissures means, see here. Here I will show that. See, this is one fissure, deep fissure, one deep line. It is one deep line. It is one deep line. 1, 2, 3, 4. Frontal bone, parietal bone, temporal bone, occipital bone. Okay, each cerebral hemisphere, that is right cerebral hemisphere and left cerebral hemispheres are divided into 4 lobes with the help of 4 bones, that is frontal bone, parietal bone, temporal bone, and occipital bone. So these bones are present in the skull. With the help of these bones, each cerebral hemisphere is divided into 4 lobes. So these 4 lobes are divided with the help of deep fissures. Deep fissures. These deep fissures make the right and left cerebral hemispheres into 4 lobes. So various activities of the bodies are controlled in these regions. In this region, in this region, in this region. That means in the cerebral region, right cerebral region and left cerebral regions, these 2 regions are controls various activities of our bodies. Okay, so what we are seeing externally, what we are hearing, what we can speak, so these are all goes to cerebrum region, cerebral hemisphere region with the help of sensory neurons. Okay, so these various controls, various activities of our body. So I am making movement. I am moving my finger, index finger. So this is controlled by our cerebral hemisphere region. I am watching. Instantaneously I have seen far away and immediately I am seeing. So our eye vision is binocular vision. I am seeing far away place. Immediately I am seeing nearby, around whatever the objects are there, that is. So instantaneously our eye can view far away objects and immediately can see nearer objects. So this entire controlling mechanism is present in our right and left cerebral hemispheres. So various activities. So in these areas, various kinds of centers, memory center, smell center, vision center, auditory center, speaking center, various kinds of centers are present. These centers controls various activities of our. Okay, so that is the third statement about cerebral. Next one is 4th. So here the surface area of each cerebral hemisphere. See, this is cerebral hemisphere. The surface area of cerebral hemisphere. The surface area of cerebral hemisphere consists of numerous infoldings or convolutions. Numerous infoldings or convolutions. Cerebral hemisphere consists of numerous infoldings or convolutions. Ridges, convolutions, nothing but ridges. Those are called gyri. So see, numerous infoldings are convolutions. So that is starts from cerebral, from deep, from inside onwards. And so on. From the cerebral hemisphere, it contains numerous infoldings and convolutions or ridges. gyri, gyri. So these gyri are separated by depressions, deep depressions. These depressions are called sulci. Gyri and sulci. Gyri, okay, gyri and sulci. Okay, so these depressions are called sulci. These ridges are called gyri. So the cerebral hemisphere consists of numerous infoldings or convolutions or are ridges. Those ridges are called gyri, just like up. These are called ridges, gyri. These are called sulci. The gyri is separated by depressions called sulci. Gyri and sulci. So the advantage of numerous convolutions in which number of neurons are accommodated spaciously. Number of neurons are accommodated spaciously. That is fourth one. That is fourth one. Okay, that's it. Fourth one. Next one. See. So cerebral hemisphere. The outer region of this is inner region, this is inner region, this is outer region. The outer region, this is inner region, this is outer region. The outer region of the cerebral hemisphere have number of neurons like this. The outer region of cerebral hemisphere have number of neurons. This region is called cerebral cortex. The outer surface of the cerebral hemisphere have numerous or bundles of neurons. This surface is called cerebral cortex. Cerebral cortex. Okay, so the cerebral cortex consists of various kinds of activity areas. Different kinds of active areas. So the cerebral cortex have various kinds of activity areas. Those areas are classified into three areas. That is sensory area. That is sensory area. Sensory area. Sensory area. Okay. Sensory areas. Motor area and associated area. See, cerebral cortex. This region is called cerebral cortex. It consists of various areas, different kinds of areas. Those areas are mainly classified into three types: sensory area, motor area, and associated areas. So first of all, let us see sensory area. So the sensory area, it receives impulses from the sense organs to the cerebrum. It receives impulses from the sense organs. That is what we see, what we can hear, what we can smell, what we wanted to speak. From the sense organs, information is received. Those are called sensory areas. It receives impulses from the sense organs. That is what we see, hear, speak, other sensations. So motor areas, it transmit impulses from brain to various parts of the body and controls various voluntary activities of our body. Motor areas, motor areas. So it transmits impulses to various body parts and controls various voluntary activities of the body and controls various activities of the body. Various activities of the body means what? Movement of our hands, speaking, displacing, changing the location, sitting, running. These are all voluntary activities controlled by motor areas. Transmit impulses to various body parts and controls voluntary activities of the body parts, that is hands, legs, toes, speaking, watching television, sleeping. These are all voluntary activities. Okay. Next, third one is associated areas. Associated areas. These are mainly involved in remembering what we have seen today. These are all the informations are stored in our body. These are mainly respond in memory. That means what we are seeing now. These are all stores in our associated areas. And future, whenever, if we will see that particular object, immediately we can identify with the past experience. See, you or anybody, or I maybe, whenever fifth class, when we are studying fifth class, we have seen Sanjay Dutt movie. In future, whenever if we will see Sanjay Dutt picture, immediately we will get an idea about his acting style, singing, fights, and everything we will get. Our darshan. When we have seen childhood stage. In future, whenever if we will see picture of that particular person, immediately in our mind we will get an idea. That is associated areas. Memory. It is mainly involved in memory activities. In future, whenever we are seeing that particular picture or when we hear about particular person, immediately in our mind, their body structure, dance, fight. If we met any actor or actress, immediately in our mind we will get an idea about their complete picture. That is mainly regulated by associated neurons. Not only Darshan, not only Sudeep, whoever. Once if you will see their picture, in future, whenever if you will hear their name, immediately we will get an idea about them. For example, today we have seen rose flower. In future, when the word rose we will hear, without seeing rose flower also, immediately we will get an idea about rose smell, color, structure, everything. That is maintained by the associated areas in our body. So this associated area also involved in memory, remembering, thinking means reasoning, intelligence, learning activities. These are all activities under the control of associated neurons or associated areas. So now we read one page that we will remember in our mind that total activities under controlling associated areas. Remembering, learning, reasoning, and intelligence. These are all the activities are under the control of associated neurons. Okay, that's all. Next here, beneath the cerebrum. Beneath the cerebrum means what? See, this is the cerebrum. part is cerebrum. So beneath the cerebrum, this is beneath the cerebrum there is a complex structure is present that is called thalamus. So beneath the beneath the cerebrum there is a structure that is called here. This part is called thalamus. This part is called thalamus. This part is called thalamus. Okay. Beneath the cerebrum there is another structure that is called thalamus. So actually, in forebrain, first part is the cerebrum, second part is thalamus, and third one is hypothalamus. So this is called thalamus. Before saying about thalamus, here one point we have to discuss. So this is outer part is cerebrum. So gyri and sulci, the gyri and sulci, or else cerebral cortex. The cerebral cortex looks like a gray in color due to the presence of cell body, dendrons, and synapses of neurons. Due to them, the external surface of the brain looks like a gray in color. Gray in color. Okay, that's that. Next, deeper areas, that is cerebrum, that is thalamus region, looks like white in color. Why? In this region, bundles of axons are present. Those axons are covered by myelinated sheath. Therefore, this region looks like a white in appearance. So, this region, inner part of the cerebrum, is opaque structure. Opaque means what? Not transparent. It is visible to white color due to the presence of myelinated axons. That's why while we are discussing, so outer surface of the brain looks like a green color. Deeper surface of the brain looks like a white in color. And also it is not transparent, opaque-like structure. It seems to be white due to the bundles of fatty insulating sheath that is called myelinated sheath is covered around the axons. Okay, this is the explanation about the cerebrum. Now I will talk about thalamus. Thalamus. Here, cerebrum. This is cerebrum. Cerebrum wrap or covers around thalamus. Cerebrum wrapped or covered around thalamus. This is called thalamus. So, thalamus, whatever the sensory information reaching to the cerebrum, this region is the cerebrum. Whatever may be the sensory information from the sensory organs passing to the cerebrum, that information must passes through thalamus. This is the second statement. First statement, cerebrum wrapped around the thalamus. Second statement, the whatever the sensory information from the sensory organs is transmitting to the cerebrum, that must be passes through thalamus. So it reaches to the thalamus. From the thalamus it goes to cerebrum. Okay, that is the second statement. So sensory information from eye, nose, tongue, tooth, skin, whatever the sensory information going to cerebrum, it first reaches to the thalamus. From the thalamus it goes to cerebrum. So the thalamus, which is major coordinating center for sensory and motor signals. It is a major coordinating It is the major coordinating center. It is the major coordinating center for sensory and motor signal. Motor signals. So in the thalamus, what are the sensory neurons? What are the motor neurons? That coordination process, segregation process happens. Okay, so sensory neurons receives sensory information from the sense organs and sent to the cerebrum through thalamus. So motor neurons receives information from the cerebrum to various parts of the body and controls various voluntary activities of the body. Voluntary activities, movement of hands, legs, running, walking, sleeping, different kinds of voluntary activities. Voluntary activities. Okay, that is the explanation about the thalamus. Next one is hypothalamus. Hypothalamus. So, hypothalamus is present beneath the thalamus. Beneath the thalamus. Hypothalamus, which is present, which is located beneath the thalamus. Therefore, it is called hypothalamus. Hypo means below. So, it is present below the thalamus. That's why it is called hypothalamus. Hypothalamus. Next, here one peculiar point no one can identify. This region is called hypothalamus. 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 It consists of masses of scattered gray matter in white matter. It is the peculiar point. What I said, externally is gray in color, internally white in color I said. But in that white, some places gray color is appeared. That is only peculiar point. Hypothalamus consists of masses of scattered means distributed. Gray matter is present in the white matter. In the white matter, slightly gray matter is present. Gray matter is present in come to the point, continuation. Okay, so hypothalamus consists of masses of gray matter which is scattered in white matter. In white matter, gray matter is scattered, distributed. So hypothalamus, it is the control center for internal control mechanism. That means what? Internally, many activities are controlled by hypothalamus. It is the control center for many internal control mechanism. Internal control mechanism. That means what? Internally, many activities are controlled by the hypothalamus. Those are mainly temperature regulation, water balance, temperature regulation, water balance, hunger, blood pressure, etc. These are all the activities are regulated by hypothalamus. That's why it is the control center for many internal control mechanisms. Those are especially temperature regulation. Our body temperature should not exceed more, should not get less. Temperature regulation. Water balance. Our body fluids, in that body fluids maintains water balance. Hunger, when we are feeling hungry at that time, it controls. Blood pressure controls. Drinking, at regulated by the hypothalamus. So it is also associated with hypothalamus. It is also associated with reflex actions. Controls the reflex actions. See, what are reflex actions? Reflex actions. Reflex actions means what here? So when strong wind will blow, or whenever any dust particles are entered to our nose or eyes, or if I will try to throw something stone on you, immediately we will try to save our road. Immediately we will turn like this. These are called reflex actions. When torchlight focuses on our eyes, then immediately what we will do? Immediately we will close. When strong wind will blow, then what we will do? Immediately we will try to close our eyes. These are all kinds of activities are called reflex actions. These kind of activities are under controlled by hypothalamus. It is also associated with the reflex actions and also controls sleeping, feeding, emotions. These are all the activities, sleeping, feeding, emotions are associated with the hypothalamus. If it is not controlled, continuously we will eat, continuously we will sleep, we will get more angry. So when we are getting more angry at that time, hypothalamus will control. Some conditions immediately we ourselves will control. Sleeping, after some time, we will wake up and we will involve in various kind of activities. So these are all sleeping, feeding. If hypothalamus is not controlled, we will continuously eat without any control. Okay, so sleeping, feeding, emotions are controlled by hypothalamus. Next, last and final, hypothalamus. Actually, hypothalamus, this is thalamus, I say, this is the region is hypothalamus. So this hypothalamus is associated with the gland that is called pituitary gland. Pituitary gland. So the hypothalamus is associated with the pituitary gland and releases a number of hormones. Those hormones are called hypothalamic hormones. Hypothalamic hormones. Hypothalamic hormones. Okay? Hypothalamus is associated with the pituitary gland and releases various kinds of hormones. Those are called neurohormones or hypothalamic hormones. So hypothalamus also controls the synthesis and secretions of anterior and posterior hormones. Anterior and posterior pituitary hormones. This hormone, this is the pituitary gland. This is the pituitary gland. This pituitary gland is divided into three parts. Anterior pituitary, middle pituitary, posterior pituitary. This hypothalamus controls the synthesis and secretions of anterior pituitary and posterior pituitary hormones. If this is not there, these secretions will be beyond sufficient level. Then we will face a hormonal imbalance. If the hormonal imbalance comes, means in our body various kinds of abnormal conditions will be faced. So that this hypothalamus controls the synthesis and secretions of anterior pituitary hormones and posterior pituitary hormones. Okay, that's all. Next, so the cerebrum along with group of internal structures together forms a complex structure that is called limbic system or limbic lobe. Limbic lobe. The cerebrum along with group of internal structures together forms a complex structure. That complex structure is called limbic lobe or limbic system. Actually, this limbic lobe is responsible for the controlling of sexual urge, sexual desire, lust. Okay, so our sexual emotions, sexual activities are controls. We ourselves.